Hey guys, welcome back. Lunatic Astrology. I am your astrologer, Lori Lothian, and today we're talking about the Virgo full moon trining Pluto, activating as well a fixed star called Alkaid. This is going to be happening on March the 18th, and it is going to bring each of us some area of completion and for fulfillment and fruiting in our lives, depending on where this falls in your natal sky. There's a bit of good news with this. And there's a little bit of not so good news. Alkaid is a bit of a difficult star of sorrow, calamity, and difficulty. We'll be talking about that for the collective. The good news is that this is also a moon that is in a harmonious flow to the North Node, which is in Taurus conjunct two asteroids, Abundantia and Ops, opportunity, growth, expansion, abundance. So we'll talk in your sky, based on your sun, moon, and rising sign, of how you could come into a fulfillment, a completion, and a fruiting of something you may have started 6 months ago that's going to come into a kind of space of abundance for you. However, with that moon sitting in a 27th degree of Virgo on fixed star Alkaid, I remember when Ruth Bader Ginsburg or somebody died, I think it was a Supreme Court judge, she had that star on her North Node at the time, transiting North Node, and or whatever it was. I can't remember the details, but something is going to happen in the collective that's going to cause mass sorrow or calamity. There's just no two ways about it. And I will go into this now because I know that you guys really like the all signs, right? But I will talk about this in relationship to developments in the Ukraine and the war with Russia, because it's really going to be impacted by this moon. Now, before I do that, and do the all signs as well, a couple of things. You can see behind me this thing called Manifest Your Soul Dream. Well, hopefully I get this baby up, this video up before the class starts. I'm recording on March the 7th, and this class is going to be on March the 12th. Hope you will join me on March the 12th for this amazing sky where we're harnessing the Neptune and the Sun and the Jupiter triple conjunction. And it's going to be a portal for manifestation. Yes, a portal, I use that word, but it's also connected to some really positive other sky elements, including that asteroid Abundantia. And so I would love if you join me. It is going to be by Zoom. We're going to be doing a little astrology lesson. It's only an hour, and then a meditation guided by me where we're going to access some of the celestial star and asteroid power in the sky to use the window of time. It's 166 years rare. It was 1856 or whatever, the last time we had this potential Neptune, the god of imagination, interdimensional reality, manifestation, and enlightenment, unconditional love, and really cool stuff, joining with the sun, the solar portal, the portal to the divine in a Kazemi, with Jupiter hanging out right beside the whole thing, blessing it. So Jupiter in Pisces in his own sign. So the extraordinary quality of the sky is not to be missed. It is going to be perfecting like on Sunday at like 5 a.m. or something on the 13th in North America time. And I'm holding the class on Saturday. And there's a free downloadable meditation called Enter the Synchronicity Portal you get when you sign up as well. And if you can't make the class, a replay will be available. I think there may be only 50 spots available unless I upgrade my Zoom to webinar size right now, so I can take 50 people at once in a Zoom call, I think. So jump in if it feels right for you. All right, so let's get started with what's going on in this sky. So first of all, there's a tendency to forget that lunar cycles are connected. Like a full moon is a fulfillment of a new moon, right? There's a connection to when it was new and now it is full. And I think it's worth noting this because sometimes I think I even forget to look at this. So the first thing I want to say is, what were you doing in your life? What were you doing in your life on September the 6th-ish? So think about it as, what were you doing in the month of September 2021? Because that would have been the new moon in Virgo, and it's and it's flowing through the month of September, and you may have been planting some kind of seeds of some sort. Now, depending on your rising sign, especially, those seeds would have been planted in a particular part of the sky, and now the fruition or the fruiting is happening a full moon in the same part of the sky. So when we do the all signs, I'll mention that for you, but I want you to be able to connect those dots to see what's happening. Now, I do really like that this moon is in a flowing, harmonious, and loving aspect pattern. Let me show it to you. to the sky, which creates a kite. Now, a kite is a success pattern. It brings a success and achievement in our lives. The moon is, as you can see, holding the bottom of the kite on the star Alkaid. Now, if you ever look in the sky and see the Big Dipper, this is the Big Dipper's tail of the Big Dipper, or the handle of the Big Dipper, the very tip of the handle. Also, it's a bear. It's the Greater Bear star constellation, Little Bear and Big Bear. There's a myth about Zeus swinging the bears into the sky, Little Bear and Big Bear, to throw them up there for all of eternity. And he didn't want to get bitten, so he created long tails on these mysterious bears. Now, it is a star that is associated with things to do with calamity, upsetting events, mass sorrow. And I am a little bit worried for the collective, because even though each of our lives, we have flow from Pluto sextiling, trining the moon and sextiling the sun, and the moon trining the north node and the sun sextiling the north node. And this is where abundantia and opportunity ops are sitting. Those stories are wonderful, but yet there is this calamity, sorrow, difficulty star here. And there's one guy who wrote a poem about the star, and I don't have it handy, but he talks about it having to do with the fates of nations. So why I'm concerned about the Ukraine is that the Ukraine has its Mars exactly conjunct this 27th degree, basically, of Virgo. It's on the Mars. Mars is war, right? In the 8th house of death, in the nation of the Ukraine's natal chart, based on the Ukraine that was created in the early 90s, that version of the Ukraine. And it's also an interesting Mars in the chart of the Ukraine, because it's a feral or peregrine planet. It's a wanderer, a pilgrim, you call it what you like. It doesn't make any aspects to any of the other major planets, period. If I drew in the asteroid Hygeia, I could make a case, but just using normal planetary bodies, no. So there's a kind of like rogue Mars in the sky of Ukraine that does what the hell it wants and doesn't care what anybody else thinks. Okay. Basically, a planet that has no alliances or conversations with other natal planets in the sky is a free agent. That can be good and that can be bad. I mean, we wouldn't mind Mars trining Jupiter, a benefic, softening up the warrior, right? Okay. So Mars is in Virgo in this house of death in the chart of the Ukraine, modern Ukraine. So it is not auspicious to me to see the moon in the sky full and sitting on a very challenging star to do with calamity and sorrow and death, mass sorrow and death on the Mars. Think Mars war. Think Mars bombs, explosive incendiary devices. Think Mars stealth and warriors. Mars is in the 8th house of the Ukraine, which does say that a lot of the Ukrainian war is hidden from view. In other words, Mars is like doing secret war, stealth war. So, you know, what has happened in the Ukraine since the Ukraine was formed is that there's a lot of covert stuff going on behind the scenes that has to do with war or war mitigations or etc. So we all know that. That's common knowledge already, that the United States has been involved behind the scenes with the Ukraine and other nations, and the whole getting it to join NATO piece, which is funny. I just saw a Twitter thread with like 7 or 8 or 10 statesmen and political analysts who over the last 8 years have been suggesting that any attempt to invite Ukraine into NATO will equal war with Russia, and always warning against that. And yet we are seeing that, you know, there's culpability from the West for this continual pressure to get Ukraine to become a part of NATO, for example. And this calamity that may be hitting with this lunar Martian element for the Ukraine concerns me, because Pluto is sitting in the sky right here already, conjunct Shiva the destroyer, the asteroid Shiva the destroyer. And Pluto is plutonium, uranium, bombs, energy. And Shiva the destroyer is there. And yes, it's a trine to the Mars in the Ukraine chart, and we all go, aren't trines wonderful? But we don't know what divine will is about. We don't know what the big mystery is. We don't have the big picture. We don't have the 360-degree view of, let's say, divine knowledge and wisdom. So yes, trines are positive. Would a nuclear event or an explosive event or a bad bombing event really wake up humanity or the world in a good way? And could that be, you know, some lemonade from some disastrous, really bad lemons? I don't know. But I'm just saying there is concern there. But in your sky, I'm not saying that you're going to have a bomb blow up. Okay. I'm saying that this is for the collective. And often these stars are for the collective. Often the stars are not about your individual lives. They can be, like Donald Trump has Regulus on his ascendant, and yes, he was born to rule, and little king is the meaning of that star. But on the other hand, not all of us, because there's a star in the sky in our chart. So this is not your moon, right? That's sitting, or your sun that's sitting at 27 Virgo. And if you are born with a planet around that, where that star sits in the sky, I don't have the star chart handy, but it's pretty close. If you have planets around 27 degrees of Virgo, you clearly are going to have some connection in your natal chart to the feeling of this alkaid tip of the bear story. But if it's not an intimate planet like the moon, the sun, or your midheaven, maybe it may not even be about you. It may be somebody in your life who's going on, has that story going on. Okay, so enough of that. We're going to do the all signs portion of the reading. I'm going to play this time with a deck of cards for fun. You guys know I'm an oracle card junkie and a tarot reader since I was in my 20s. And my first tarot deck was a Salvador Dali deck. I lived in Manhattan, and my husband bought it for me as a gift. And by the way, I used to live in Chelsea. I had worked at a magazine down in Chelsea, and there was this little store called The Magical Child. It was a Coolio magical curio shop with books and tarot cards and exotic magic candles. I used to love that store. On every lunch break, I'd walk down from my building where I worked on, oh my God, 22nd Street in Chelsea. And I walked down to, I think, 19th, the Magical Child down 6th Avenue. So anyone who's ever been to New York City and lived there in the golden days, that you'll know that bookstore. And the reason I guess I'm bringing it up, the nostalgia of my first tarot deck, I'm pretty sure that's where my husband bought the deck. Okay, so let's get rolling with this story. Now, if you're here and you like what I'm doing, would you like my channel? I would like if you would do that. And would you subscribe? That would make me happy. And would you hit the bell for notifications and turn your notifications on? That really helps my channel grow. And if you comment, I always heart you, or I always read it and I comment back. I'm an engaged astrologer. I love to know what's going on, how this stuff is affecting you. I read all of my comments. Okay. All right, so let's get going. And also I'll put the link to the Manifest Your Soul Dream pinned to the top of the comments and in the description box below. Last but not least, if you sign up for my newsletter, you get 30% off a reading with me, one-time use, and you get a bunch of free gifts. And I give you a forecast of the sky private just to my every Sunday, just for my subscribers. And sometimes I cover content there that I won't even cover here. So why don't you sign up? Link below as well. Okay, let's get rolling. Let's start off first and talk about you, Aries people. I am Aries sun, moon, and rising sign. I'd like you guys to know who I am, and also Athena. I am not an astrologer who hides my astrology chart. I know a lot of people do. They're afraid there's going to be evil usages of their chart. And I'm like, really? Life is way too short to worry about somebody doing magic by looking at my natal chart and trying to cause me harm. Plus, I just put my shield up, which is like the bugger off shield. Nobody can get through. And that's that, stay clear, stay away. All right, so let me get my chart ready for you guys, and I'm going to go ahead and I will be drawing a card from the Wisdom of the Hidden Realms. I'm not going to read the whole card, but I'm going to give you the main gist of it to tie into how this success kite is operating in your natal sky. So what I'm doing now on the back end of my software is I'm advancing my chart so I can get this kite to start with Aries. So give me a sec. You guys don't need to see me do the advancing of the chart. So let me advance it or de-advance it or whatever, get it all lined up. All right. Oh, I got to sneeze. Okay. Take a sneezy nose, guys. Okay, here we go. Uh-oh, these come in threes. Maybe I'll just pause while I finish sneezing. Can I stop a sneeze? Okay. Here's a trick. If you think you're going to sneeze and you can't, that's not a good time in public or something, tickle the roof of your mouth with your tongue, and it will stop a sneeze. I learned that trick somewhere, and it actually works. I just did it. Okay. So let's start off and get going for Aries. Now, Aries, sun, moon, and rising sign. I will draw a card for everybody. I won't forget. On what I want to say, first of all, the energy of completion. What is it that started for you in September and is now fulfilling itself, fruiting in your sixth house of health routines and work routines, and also karmic debt? But you're going to experience your sixth house as the daily activities, how you do your work every day, the coworker space if you have colleagues, your Zoom call routines, your health and exercise routines, all of that. So in September, I started walking again after a glute injury, tore a glute in June, and I started doing walking and getting back in shape and stretching. For example, maybe this will be a furthering of that by me going to a physiotherapist to help me with the scar tissue that I know is still there and I'm not completely over it, for example. So you're going to fix your health better, more health stuff, open up to better health endeavors. You're going to find that by being more attentive to your daily routines and health routines and work routines and workspace and collegiate space, that is the handhold of a kite of success, which tips out in your 12th house. Now, your 12th house is PayPal and Stripe revenue, or foreign shores money and barter and trade, because it's third from the 10th. This is a very little known piece of the 12th house. So for me, that could be really good as an independent entrepreneur for my finances being successful, but it depends on my health and work routines. At a more esoteric level, it's a deep unconscious house. It's where you can meditate, have your dreams at night. Neptune's up there. It could really open up some kind of a portal to success through your inspiration, your meditations, your dreams at night, that kind of thing, your reveries. All right. And you've got a lot of abundance through opportunity, opportunity, but opportunity ops is also, I think she's a wife of Saturn. It's an asteroid that just brings its own fruitfulness and abundance. And now you add abundantia and ops together on the North Node in Taurus, co-present with Uranus, and you may have an unexpected, explosive, exciting, dynamic increase of financial wealth as a result of the fruiting of this moon at the Virgo storyline. And as much as I would love for Aries like us to win the lottery, this is happening in, concert with energy from that sixth house of work. So it's very, very likely this is more of a work story, and also Pluto in the 10th house of career. So, Pluto is operating from your 10th, it's a career space, and moon from your sixth of workspace and work routines. And the money and the abundantia is coming, barreling through your second house of possessions and earnings and money. And it's just the money house. So good money stories brewing in the sky for you guys because of this full moon. It is going to be, it's around 27 Virgo, auspicious. Now, yes, calamity, mass sorrow on the moon, but maybe your office, because the sixth house isn't really you. So maybe there's calamitous and sorrowful events going on in collegiate workspaces, but this star is really for the collective. Let's take a look at what you have. Your card today that I just drew for you, based on what is the meaning of this full moon for you, is Sisters of the Seasons. Okay. And I'm only going to give you the key words: cycles of growth, divine order, and natural law. You can ponder that. And here's the thing about this card too. Funny, I pulled it earlier for myself, and I'm an Aries. And it's the 17th card. If the number 17 means anything to you, it's my lucky number. One of the meanings of this star itself, Alcate, is about the natural cycles and rhythms of life. So you're going to be really getting in touch with your cycles of growth for sure. It's a cycle of growth, and ebbs and flows. And a lot of us Aries have been in an ebb. There's a lot of sky reasons why I'm not going to get into, but if your finances have been ebbing, you're about to move into financial flow. And just remember, Jupiter, who is Santa Claus, is moving into the Aries zone of the sky mid-May, and get set for an entire mid-May to October of thrival for all of the Aries folk in the world. And if your sun and moon and rising sign, of course, is anywhere near that 27th degree. So you would say anyone between 22 to 29 degrees of Aries, sun, moon, and rising get a lot of lift from this kite, especially from that abundantia and that ops. Okay, let's keep going. And next person in the lineup. All right, so let's go with Taurus, sun, moon, and rising sign. All right, it's a very exciting time because the kite's pointing at your house of good spirit, that 11th house. There's so many things to say about the 11th house, but it's just all-purpose goodness. Windfalls, fame, pennies from heaven, friends and allies, benefactors, basically people who can help you get a leg up in life, your own ability to leverage groups of belonging or groups of belonging that can support you. And with Jupiter going through this part of your sky, Taurus rising especially, but sun and moon as well, you're getting a lot of love from Jupiter here. These are very lucky times to expand the gains and the like the rewards and the financial gains and the promotions and the acknowledgements of your career path, your 10th house. So this is going to open up kind of until mid-May as Jupiter's going through the sky here. And then the last 2 months of the year, a lot of luck for you when it comes to your ambitions around your career and your groups of belonging supporting that and your gains from your career as well. Now, here I would say with the moon in its fullness, because oh, sorry, did I say that right? Because I wasn't pointing at the moon. Sorry, I was looking at the sun and Jupiter up there. So the tip of the kite is up there, but the moon, right, this fruiting the fullness of something that began in September is happening in your 5th house. Now, look, if you don't want to have a baby and you're a Taurus, be careful because this is moon in the house. Mama house, the house of fertility and pregnancy, the 5th house. So this could be a cautionary note that you could be in a very highly fertile time, but also this is where love sits. This is a house of romance and play and joy and pleasure. What was going on in, let's say, the month of September that you were planting seeds for greater joy, fun, play, pleasure, romance. And if you want to have a baby, maybe getting ready to have one by going off birth control or something. And now there's this fullness and there's fruition going on here, or your partner's going off birth control, some fruition here. It is a money luck house. The moon is holding a kite in a money luck house, but it's a particular kind of luck. It's like going to the casino, winning the lottery, placing a speculative bet of some kind. So you're gaming for money here. So if you are in the mood to buy a lottery ticket, I would say this full moon could be really auspicious. And did you plant a seed in September by, buying tickets then? I don't know, but there's connection points you may be able to make. Abundantia is sitting with Ops and the North Node in your 1st house. And it is in a beautiful flowing harmonious sextile trine to the tip and the handle of the kite with Pluto in the 9th house lending support. Now, Pluto in the 9th house is in the house of father in Vedic astrology. And so you could get money from a father figure, an authoritarian figure. Shiva the destroyer is up there. What needs to be destroyed in relationship to father figures to provide abundance, perhaps. This is your 9th house of higher education and foreign travel as well. Those themes may play into some sense of prosperity and abundance that you feel personally, because Abundantia and Ops on the North Node on the crossbar of this kite are in this part of the sky that represents you. You can feel prosperous. You can feel personally opportunity rich and abundant as this fruiting happens. Now, again, it's a fun place for you. The moon's in a 5th house placement. So I encourage you to also expand your sense of abundance when it comes to pleasure, fun, play, and joy. Get down with more fun. The moon will give you the opportunity to have fun and to be more expansive in the sense of identity. You become the agent of your own luck and opportunity and abundance with these asteroids on the North Node in your 1st house. And if your rising sign, let's say, is between approximately 23 to 29 degrees of Taurus, or your sun and moon, you're getting a lot of energy from this really intense, beautiful kite in the sky. All right. Oh, a card for you guys. See, I almost forgot. I always do this. A card for the Tauruses of the world. And it is, well, I don't know, 2 cards came out at once. This is the one because I can tell, because it's literally what I just talked about. Okay. It's called the Sun Dancers. And I'm going to read the meanings of it. The 30-second card, if numbers mean something to you. Joyful. Remember I said more joy. Joyful activity, celebration of life. And if you want to be pregnant, this could be celebration of real life, and abundance. Okay, guys, you can't make it up. This is a good one. And don't forget, the 5th house is money luck, but it's also joy. So full fruiting here for you, amazing Taurus people. I love Taurians. My daughter's a Taurus sun. I have a lot of Tauruses in my life over the years. Isn't that funny? Not as mates, though, as friends. Okay, continuing on. I am back to the back end of the sky. Let me look at the chart and let's keep talking about it. So Gemini, sun, moon, rising sign. We have a kite, and at the tip of the sky is Jupiter, and he's up there with the sun and Neptune, opportunity and blessings in your 10th house of career. But the lunar fruiting of something you started in September, where the fullness is in the sky at the handle of the kite, is in the home, land, and real estate, and family home and domestic private life. So what happened in September that was a seed for something going on now to do with your home? Like it can be anything, guys, an expansion in your home, renovations of your home, a desire to change or move your home that may planted a seed in September. And now a lot of you Geminis are getting some lift to actually make a change of home. So there's that going on. And you've got this energy with the 10th house, Jupiter, Sun, Neptune up there. You know, the sun is causing a full moon, right? It's the moon's reflecting the light of that sun, where you also have this expansive buoyancy going on, you know, from that solar energy in the 10th house of career as a backbone of a success direction. So things that are full and fruiting in your home are expanding your reputation and your career success. And then abundance is coming from the 12th house. Now, if you have revenue that comes, abundance, opportunity, abundantia, North Node, Uranus, sudden abundance and opportunity can come through foreign shores and foreign lands. If you do PayPal, Stripe, or any kind of payment processor, or you generate revenues from those foreign lands, from the activities of your career. You could also have abundance through your dreams at night, your meditations, your inner life, your spiritual life could be fruiting and full of abundance and opportunity. And then Pluto with Shiva the destroyer in the 8th house of loans, bank loans, mortgages, finances, credit card debt, and leveraging other people's money and inheritance. Okay, it's going on as well, causing that sort of abundance from the 12th to the 8th to look like things like selling a property, buying a property, legacy wealth, financial wealth from bequeathments or inheritances. Okay, big giant abilities to pay off a credit card debt or a bank loan, because the destroyer and Shiva, Pluto, could mean you have some weird opportunity, a lot of love from Neptune and Jupiter up there too, to suddenly eliminate a massive debt. Okay, that's examples. And because it's coming from the 4th house, you know, it's legacy wealth down there. So you may be getting some money from a maternal upline, great aunt, great aunt, great grandmother, mother figure if she's elderly as well. Even just giving it to you doesn't have to be that they pass away. Just saying, oh, you need some money, let me help you out. Oh, I almost didn't draw a card for you guys. Aha. So Gemini, sun, moon, rising sign. Everybody always remember 15 to 27 degrees, kind of the hot seats in the sky of Gemini, sun, moon, and rising. If you know that your ascendant is in those degrees, you're certainly getting a lot of energy from this kite and from this moon. Because don't forget, everybody's hanging out in the late degrees, right? The sun and moon are at 27, Pluto's at 28, the nodal axis is at 27, or well, 25, 26. Okay. All right. So moving on. We're going to draw a card for you guys, and it is Gemini. Oh my God. What are the odds that I shuffled the entire deck and I got the same card as the last sign? Well, it's not likely. Joyful activity, celebration of life and abundance. Not bad. I'm just going to say it. It's like just double down on kind of what I already told you. I mean, the odds of that are astronomical. All right, let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. And I'm recording on March 7th, guys. So anything I said at the beginning of the video to do with calamity in Ukraine, hopefully this is not a stale dated video. But don't forget, the moon isn't until fullness isn't until the 18th or so, right? 17th to 18th of the month. Therefore, likely this is not a stale dated video by the time you're listening to it. All right, Cancer, sun, moon, and rising sign. Now, you're fulfilling something that started in September by having the full moon where the new moon set. So basically it's your 3rd house. This is for Cancers to do with trips and travel, airplanes, trains, and automobiles. Were you traveling in September, planning traveling to travel in September? Sometimes it may to do with connection with siblings, aunts, uncles, and cousins, or friends who are like fam. And you could be looking at the September connection and seeing that there's a fruiting here with regards to those people. Because the moon is holding the bottom of a kite and the tip of the kite is the sun in the 9th house. This is definitely a lot of travel energy here. In the 9th house is foreign shores and foreign lands, visas and stuff like that to do with foreign shores and foreign lands. It's also the house of your dharma, your purpose of your life, and studying and learning things, especially like the moon in the 3rd could mean and the moon is in its joy in the 3rd house, guys. So this is a good time to consult an oracle, guide, or seer. Really, it really is, because that's sort of the meaning of the 3rd house, the house of the goddess. But the moon in this joy here could mean great, joyful travel is coming to you, but also learning. See, in the third house, we do skills-based education, right? We learn like a workshop, a seminar, we learn how to do something. And so you may find that you have an opportunity that this moon is fruiting into, that something that you saw or started or thought you might want to be involved in September, either to do with travel or to do with learning, may be activated now. And if you have your own online business and you have a website or you do social media, the moon in its joy will amplify your blogging, your social media outreach, your connection to others through social media platforms here as well, bringing you greater ninth house success, which is kind of being aligned to your purpose or being available in the sphere of teaching or spiritual community. Wow, the abundance, the opportunity, and the abundantia North Node energy in the 11th house of pennies from heaven is a good thing. You're going to have some unexpected bonus points on the financial game board. Thank you for this time of the sky. And it could be also an abundance of help from friends, opportunities, ops through friends. And friends can really support you right now. I mean, they can come out of the woodwork and really be allies for you, Cancers. Okay. So don't think you have to do everything by yourself right now at all. If fame is something you aspire to, you may have an opportunity for some fame or some public recognition, given this abundantia ops in your 11th house. And with Shiva the Destroyer and Pluto hunkered down in your 7th house of marriage and business partnerships, this is also possibly going to be a huge support structure from a business partner or a marriage partner, amplifying this kind of success kite in your 9th house. So, legal contracts and agreements can be also things that we do, negotiating the deal in the 7th house. So any deals that you're negotiating and contracts that you sign can really take off. And with that action of the sun in the 9th house of courts, again, completing the paperwork for a visa, getting some kind of court thing settled so that you can move forward in some area, even incorporating and waiting for your incorporation papers. All kinds of ways that can play out. Let's pull a card for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising sign people and see what we got. All right. Let's take a card. Oh my God, the Fire Prince. I love this card. It's the 40th card. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's got like a guy dancing. It's like those guys that do the fire things, they swirl and twirl, fire dancers, the Fire Prince. Mm-hmm. So the Fire Prince is here, optimism and aggression. Well, aggression just means go for it. Is saying, find your optimism, find your spark, find your fire and go for it. Now I'm telling a water sign to find their fire. It's kind of a hoot, isn't it? But you do have fire in your sky, right? I mean, because everybody has 12 houses. So your fire part of your chart is your 10th house of reputation and career. That's your Aries zone, and your 6th house of work and work routines, which is your Sag zone, and your Leo zone, your money and earnings house. But yeah, optimism is the name of this card for you guys. So find your zone of optimism and daring do and aggression and fire. Moving forward now to, I'm only really curious about that card. I'm going to go take a look at it, okay? Because it's the word aggression just leaves me wondering if I've left you guys with a weird message. So it is really about, there's invisible forces behind all manners of manifestation. And you have the gift of optimism. You're inspired to move forward, take confident and assertive action to reach your goal, envisioning your highest path with optimistic outlook. Okay, so that's much more clear than just saying aggression. All right, moving forward to the Leo, sun, moon, and rising sign. So for you Leo people, go back to September. What were you planning, plotting, or what seeds might you have been planting to do with earnings, money, possessions, and wealth in your life? Is your 2nd house. And then what is happening now? Because this fruiting of this full moon on the 18th is somehow maybe connected to that. This moon is holding the bottom of a kite, and this tip of the kite is the sun, Neptune, and Jupiter all hanging out together in your 8th house of bank loans and mortgages and grants and inheritances and tax rebates and money that doesn't belong to you, business speculation money, business partnerships, spousal money, etc. So you've got a lot of money stuff going on that's coming to fruition that started in September and now is becoming full. And you may find that you're going to be able to take possession of more assets or more money, or that your earnings are going to increase as a result of this moon. And you can also look to abundantia and opportunity, the asteroids on the North Node in your natal 10th house, which is about your reputation and career. And you can look to power from Shiva, the destroyer, and Pluto sitting in your 6th house of work and health routines. This looks like a lot of this is energetically, this kite is connected to things you're doing in your career and work that are going to improve your abundance and your financial flow, and maybe even allow you to have some really good luck with 8th house matters, buying a stock that takes off, or investing in something that takes off, or even Jupiter is in a bequeathment transit for you, Leo risings, especially sun, moon are secondarily so. And as I said, all the signs, 15 to 27 degrees sun, moon, or rising sign, you're going to feel this a lot more than most people. So for you, especially, you'll feel the abundance in your career more than most people. So Leo, if you have someone you may inherit from, a bequeathment is due, otherwise don't worry about it. This Jupiter until mid-May could stick the landing on some inheritance money, finalizing or being made available to you in some way. And now let's move on and draw you a card to further refine what Leos get from this kite-like formation in our sky on this moon. Oh, I'm liking these cards that I'm drawing, guys, because these cards are not so great in the stack end. This is a good one. Yes, I'm an Oracle card junkie, but I've moved so many times and I've given so many decks away. And I left like half my decks with my sister in Ontario. I'm in Vancouver. So I have a bare minimum with me. The dream is called the Dream Walker. And it's dreams, the collective good, and illusions. Now, illusions would be the shadow side of this card. All these cards have a shadow side. I feel called to take a look at it. It's the 8th card. 8 is a number of wealth and power in numerology. And I'm going right side up for everybody, just FYI. So the Dream Walker is your ally, and dreams can and do come true. There are 2 kinds of those, small self and big divine dream. Spirit has a dream for you. It is your dream alone. And all you need to do is ask and it will unfold like magic. Please come, especially you guys, to manifest your soul dream and check it out with me. I think you'd be ideal for this. And so it really talks about manifesting your own deepest soul dream through this particular moon. And given that the moon is in the 2nd house of voice and calling and vocation, that makes some sense to me as well. Okay, moving on. If I forget somebody, and I'm likely to do it, I can't redo this video. So if I forget you and don't draw a card for you, I apologize in advance. Virgo, sun, moon, rising sign. So Virgo, guess what? My daughter's a Virgo, my best friend's a Virgo, one of my best friends is a Virgo. And we say best friend, everybody goes, I'm your best friend. She really is my best friend now. Virgos, 2 of my best friends died last 2 years ago of heart attacks. They're my age. So I'm running out of best friends. So anyway, don't ask why you got that, Virgo. So Virgo, sun, moon, and rising sign. This is a story of something you started in September to do with your body, your health, and your sense of self. What was happening in September? What seeds did you plant to improve your health, which you guys are good at, your Virgo rising, to improve your sense of well-being in your own life, and a new beginning, a new moon happened there. So I'm trying to think of my daughter. What did she do? She was actually looking really good in the summer, doing a lot of working out, exercise, and stuff like that. And in September, she was recovering from COVID. So I don't remember what she was doing for her health. But all I can say is that there's a possible connection to September and health and well-being and sense of self and identity. And now you're having this moon fruiting, full moon fruition in your 1st house. And the sun, of course, is in your 7th house of marriage and business partnerships across the way with Neptune and Jupiter. Big story for all you Virgos is your love life is getting better. If you're with someone, it's improving, it's expanding, it's growing. And if you're single, someone you could show up. So this energy between self and other is highly amplified as a backbone of a kite, but abundance and opportunity and the North Node and sudden events, Uranus, are all hanging out in your 9th house of your father or father figure. So maybe a father figure gives you a bunch of money or whatever, or you could have the energy of the 9th house play out as, well, I've seen this, guys. It's government bodies are 9th house, legal, legislative courts and government bodies. So maybe through a government tax thing. Well, it's not really taxes. Maybe you could get some government money coming your way. This has to do with higher education, colleges and universities, and there's abundance and opportunity up there. Maybe you get a grant, maybe you get a student loan that's amazeballs, something like that. Favors from the professor, I don't know, but opportunity and abundance in the house of higher ed. And finally, if you want to plan a foreign trip around the time of the full moon, because opportunity and abundance are in the house of foreign shores, and it's very luscious sky, especially if it's with your business or love partner, 7th house. This is awesome for you. And this would be the ideal time to actually buy a ticket, plan a trip, that kind of thing, especially with gas prices going crazy. That means flight prices are going to follow suit. So yeah, consider that. And then finally, you have a Shiva the Destroyer with powerful Pluto in your 5th house of sexuality, fertility, pregnancy, independent business enterprise, money, luck, and joy. Now, this doesn't look like a money luck story per se. This looks like a intensity around sexuality and about intimacy, about powering up for more pleasure, about destroying some part of your life that has no pleasure so that you can have more pleasure and joy. Maybe if you want to do your own business because you're self-starter, you may get a trigger of goodness here, and a plan attached with a business partner in your 7th house for some Virgos to change the way you do your independent business with new business partners. That could be very much what I'm seeing. And that North Node Abundantia is the court papers and the documents to make a legal new incorporation or agreements with business partners. Because, Shiva the Destroyer for some Virgos, I mean, come on. I mean, Virgos work hard, and, you've got your house of play and fun and pleasure is Saturn ruled Capricorn in whole sign houses, right? And so basically you even work hard to play hard, right? You don't play without work hard. And so Shiva the Destroyer on Pluto on the tip of, as a crossbar of a kite, could open up new portals for more life enjoyment and less hard work. Like, not to always have to work hard in order to have some enjoyment. Let's pick a card for you today, for you Virgo people. The Chess Queen, so Virgo, it's like strategy, because you guys are mercurial, using your intellect, your mind. So it says trust, okay, and strategizing. Now I'm going to take a look, because usually that's, the strategizing can be the negative side in this deck. So let's take a look at the 30th card. I didn't do this for everyone, I realize, but I just don't want to leave it at such a simple delineation. What does it really mean for Virgos to succeed here with this card? All right, you have all the tools you need in your quest for life purpose, peace, and prosperity. And when she arrives as your ally, you're given the task of asking Spirit for a vision of your life. Now that makes sense, because the tip of the kite in the 9th house is your dharma, like the real purpose of your life. Also asked to know what the right actions are to ensure your part in the process of unfolding your right life, and then allow yourself to trust and have the strategy be given to you by the divine. So you don't need to find the strategy yourself. You just have to trust and give the whole process over to God. Well, try this Manifest Your Soul Dream webinar with me on the 12th of March. And it's going to open up the magical portal of Neptune and Jupiter with the sun. That hasn't happened since the 1850s, 1856. So it's a rare, rare time that you can manifest and get your divine plan all locked and loaded. And in fact, for you guys to be like, more like ask what you want. Like, I want to know my true purpose, and let the divine unfold the story before your very eyes, So manifest your soul dream. Come join me with that live webinar. 50 spots available, unless I try to expand my plan with Zoom. So it'll fill up. Okay. It will fill up. If you sign up after it's full, you'll get the replay, but you won't be there live. Okay. Moving on. To the next story. I like to say, may the sky tell you true stories. That's my motto. Libra, sun, moon, and rising. This is a first house story. And this is all about, first house story. It's a 12th house story. And this is all about that moon full shining light in the house of your unconscious place, maybe your dreams at night, sometimes your internal visions and meditations. If you're a Libra who does things like meditate, shamanic journey, trance journey, meditates, so that knows your dreams at night, remembers your dreams at night, this is very auspicious. Now I'm going to give you one negative side of this. If you have a female in your family who could be ill, go back to September and then attach it to now, because this is the house of hospitals. And some of you Libras may experience a family person or a female, usually older, lunar mother-like figure, who may end up with some hospitalization or illness, especially with the star allocate on this moon. So you're the exception to my rules. It does not apply to us mortals. It may apply to you here. However, on the upside, though, you have the tip of a kite in the 6th house of your work routines and your health. And if you've had health challenges, this full moon in the 12th could reveal to you what is causing you a problem. Because often the 12th house stuff is your self-undoing, like eating too much junk food or drinking too much wine or smoking too many cigarettes or whatever. And so you may find you got a big light shining in the house of your own self-sabotage. So go back to September, where you're trying to address that new moon, some of your own undoing and sabotaging strategies. And, I know that every Libra I've met has no work balance, like work-life balance, work-play balance. That, it's funny that you guys are the scales of justice, or the scales of balance and equity, but you always are out of balance. So you may find that this is like even just the terrible habit of being a workaholic. You know what I mean? So you need to orient yourself around a new narrative, maybe about how you undo yourself. And this is a full moon that gives you the power to do that and succeed at that with the kite. The tip of the kite in the house of health and work routines could give you new health and work routines that are allowing you to succeed, period. North Node has abundance and opportunity in your 8th house. A lot of Libras are going to go ka-ching, because whatever changes you're making through yourself and doing health and work routines is going to amplify success and opportunity with things like bank loans and mortgages and credit card debts and all kinds of money you can get your hands on, including business partner monies. And Pluto, Shiva the Destroyer, in your 4th house of land and real estate. Not a few of you Libras are going to be looking at lucky money changes to do with leases, homes, buying and selling of real estate, things like that. Alrighty, I hope that's useful. And let's draw a card for you, and then I'm going to keep recording, but I'm going to take a break for myself. You won't know that because I'll just pause the recording. And I hope my internet's stable today. My last video was really choppy, guys. I don't know what to say. Okay, I should plug myself directly into the modem is what I need to do next time. The Ringmaster of Scrutiny. Okay, so this is the 9th card for you Libras, and it's about discernment and clear vision and detail. So I'll give you a real quickie on that. What does it mean? And how you might apply that to everything I've just said. So basically, it is all about the details. Look closely and pay attention to the smallest elements of what's being presented to you on your path. Of course, Virgo is a detail-oriented sign where the moon is shining in your 12th house. It's in these details, not the broad strokes, that you'll find the breathtaking beauty and perfection of what you observe. And this ally can point out the deeper meaning of what unfolds in your life and remind you that every moment counts. It's about staying present and paying attention to the details. Okay, so we're going to move on and we're going to do the next sign, which is going to be Scorpio. So let's get rolling on Scorpio. Okay, so we're moving on to the Scorpio folk. And what I want to say, first of all, Scorpio people, is, let me cue my other sky. Took a water break there. All right, so the moon is full in Virgo, in your 11th house of good spirit. This is a lucky house. So even though we have a star there about female mourners, I'm not too worried, but I could say, just going to say, female mourners with calamity, mass sorrow, whatever, there's a possibility that you could have something to do with a female moon in the 11th going through a difficult time in her life that is impacting you, or a female friend going through some big calamity or disruption in their life. Okay, so moon in the 11th could be literal. But nonetheless, go back to September. What seeds did you plant? What fruits did you plant? What things did you begin to do with your social networks and groups, to do with groups of belonging, to do with trying to engineer success, fame, or great gains in your career? Because all of this is coming into a fullness now. And it is going to open up some opportunities for sure. Asteroid ops in your 7th house through business dealings with others, business partnerships, legal agreements, and your spouse. Major opportunity. Think signing contracts, negotiating deals. Think of things like that, or your partner doing those things as well, business or love. And, the energy here is such luck because it's a lucky house, so there's a sense of divine orchestration of goodness for you in both the fact that the moon is in the house of good spirit and the sun is in the house of good fortune. Both are opportunity and luck houses. And so and Jupiter going through your fifth house. And I've said this for a lot of Scorpios, you or your partner are very fertile right now. You're giving birth to either babies, businesses, or babies, or you will get pregnant. So be cautious, especially till mid-May. Jupiter is in your fifth house and at the end of the year for 2 months too. But for now, the kite is pointing at success and goodness and achievement in fifth house matters, independent business enterprise, money, luck, and speculation, pennies from heaven kind of vibe as well. A sense of the combination of financial fruitfulness and more joy, more play, more fun, more pleasure in your life, especially your romance. If you're a Scorpio who's single, this could open up an opportunity for a new relationship through groups of belonging or friends or introductions through friends, that kind of thing, to somebody that you're going to be madly in love with. And you could find that the opportunity and the abundance is coming through this new relationship as well. With Shiva the Destroyer on Pluto forming the crossbar of the kite with the North Node, this is third house things. Change of neighborhood, destroy that neighborhood. Time for a new one. Destroy or change your relationship to your siblings. They're no good for you anymore. But, you could also find Pluto here. It's something to do with a trip or a journey or a travel somewhere that it has an incredible death and rebirth, or reorients your life in a dramatic way. So any trips or travel you're doing as a Scorpio rising sun or moon, especially if your rising sun or moon has been 15 and 27 Scorpio, as is my son's, I believe, you could take a journey somewhere when, well, I say in the month that follows this moon, right? So between March 18th and April 18th. And it's going to be pivotal for all of these things I've just mentioned. And I do believe my son is traveling to Arizona or something, or Southwest during that window of time with his beloved. So I think a lot of you could find this auspicious resurrection, death and rebirth, Shiva the Destroyer, divine masculine, Pluto on some trip of great importance. But it really does amplify your financial fortune as well. And somehow those things are all connected. Now, when I look at what the meaning of this is in the cards for you, right, I'm going to see what it is. We're getting some repeat cards after shuffling. It's Sisters of the Seasons, Cycles of Growth, Natural Law, and Divine Order. Somebody else got this card. The Aries people did. Isn't that funny? Aries and Scorpio are Mars ruled. Cycles of Growth, Natural Law, and Divine Order. The 17th card, which reduces to an 8, which is a money success number. Let me just read it for a little bit for you, since I started doing that for other signs later on, thinking that I wasn't giving you enough info. And so Sisters of the Seasons, when they meet you, they remind you that everything has a rhythm, natural rhythm that obeys higher law. And just as the seasons magically pass, be reminded that the nature of birth, growth, and harvest and decay cannot be altered. So this is a growth cycle for you in the sky with this kite. Okay. Anything else? It's all about divine timing in order to get your desires to perfect into manifest form. And it's a great time to start new things. You're in the season of the spring, the cycles of new beginnings. Well, if you want to manifest something, manifest your soul dream and take my class. Check the link below in the box. It's free. It will fill up. There's 50 spots. I'm taking 50 people on a magical journey through the astrology of the sky, of the triple conjunction of the sun and Neptune. And we're doing a guided meditation. Plus you get a free meditation from me called Enter the Synchronicity Portal meditation as well, as a gift from me, just for signing up to this particular free webinar on Saturday, March the 12th. Manifest your soul dream. All right, moving forward with the next sign. And next up for our beautiful Virgo full moon is Sagittarius, sun and moon and rising sign people. Full Virgo moon in your angular 10th house of career. This is powerful. You are shining a light up there, high up. If you have a need to be popular in the workplace or be perceived as popular in your career or liked by many people, this is one of those times. And also can really open up something that you began in September in the corridor of career, Sagittarius, that is coming into a fullness now. I really think that with this Sun and Neptune and Jupiter combination down in the 4th house, where the polarity or the backbone of the kite sits, that you could find a lot of things going on in your home are really good, very joyful, very fruitful, very expansive. And at the same time, there's a full light in the house of your career. And you may be pushed and pulled between the goodness that's opening up in the home and the career itself. So like you move to a new home and you really love it, but you're so busy with your career or your new job or something like that. So there's a push and a pull, full moon, right? Between two energies, but it's more or less good. Abundance, opportunity is opening up in your workplace. It's your sixth house. Is it your colleagues, your coworkers, your employees, or your work routines and habits and your health routines and habits? So you're expanding something to do with luck and opportunity, abundance and prosperity through the corridor of work and career. The moon and the Taurus and nodal axis and the lunar handhold of your kite are connected to work, abundance, prosperity directions. Now, even getting a raise or promotion or elevated somehow in your work. Shiva the Destroyer is in the money part of your sky, the second with Pluto. That's a formidable combination, but as a part of a success kite. So what are you destroying in your possessions or your earnings? So selling a house, selling a car, selling an antique piece of furniture, or destroying the way you make the money you make. No more paycheck, maybe you'll go on commission, no more salary. You're going to change something in the earning structure. This can play out for up to a month before, but you can go back to September and remember what you were doing in September that may connect to what is unfolding in this sky now. Let's grab a card for you and see, Sages, what the sky is saying in terms of the tarot archetypes or the oracle. The High Lady of Compassion and Love and compassion, reverence, kindness, and consideration. This is the first card of the deck. Let's see, Sages, what is this about? Reverence, kindness, and connection. As a little more detail would be nice, right? I think. Oh, sorry. I think the first card would be easy to find. When the High Lady of Love and Compassion is your ally, she brings you a deep and meaningful message and reminds you that only love is real. It's a soul unconditional true power behind all means of manifesting out of the unseen into the material. Love's greatest creative power is ignited by the act of compassion. Okay, so maybe be compassionate for people in your home, maybe be compassionate for yourself. Remember, love is the only thing. And don't forget to join me then in my manifestation, Manifest Your Soul Dream course on the 12th of March, and join me for that celestial divine Sun conjunct Neptune and Jupiter nearby in a triple conjunction of rare magnitude of manifestation portal kind of thing. So yeah, you've got to keep touch with the love piece. Well, when I look at your sky and I think about that piece called love and what it could really mean, I mean, the fifth house is a house of amorous love, erotic love, but it's often the eros, the life force love. Maybe that's a part of true love, right? Vitality and enjoyment for life. And because you're a fire sign, you trine that house. So reminding you, maybe a part of this thing is to tap into what you love in your work, what you love about your work in your workplace, in order to manifest that kite in a better way. Don't focus on the negative. Maybe that's all I'm saying. Focus on what you love about what you're doing in your work. There's no point in being successful if you don't love it or you're not enjoying it. All right. Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising sign. You are looking at the full moon in your ninth house of God, truth, wisdom, soul, legal and court affairs, visas and foreign lands and travel. Number one, this is definitely probably a trip. I mean, being planned or unfolding in the, like, say 30 days after this March 18th event called the moon. Go back to September. Did you plant some seeds for a trip? Were you plotting and traveling a travel adventure? Maybe didn't get off the ground, or were you hoping to go somewhere and it didn't happen? Okay, those are possibilities. And it also is like the house of course. And if you had started a legal issue and it wasn't done, it could be fruiting or coming to fulfillment. So visas, stamping on the dotted line, resolving legal matters in some way, especially regarding courts themselves, judges or courts that have to approve of something. And for some of you, Capricorns, the full moon could be it's a higher education, colleges and campuses. And so if you're of that age where you're going to school or just whatever, you're going to school, this is fullness in that part of the sky. So something you start in September, like a course you took, may have now come to some fullness and fruiting in some very positive way as a part of a kite. You do have the sun, of course, with Neptune and Jupiter in your third house of trips and travel, planes and trains and automobiles, as well as learning, skills-based learning as well, friends and family, local neighborhood, well, aunts, uncles, and cousins and siblings. So some good things coming through from a sibling coming to fullness here could be a big part of the narrative, or some trip and it involves your extended family. You also have opportunity and abundance coming through your fifth house. Now, it is money luck. You can get lucky speculation, winning a lottery, gaming and stuff, buying a speculative stock that takes off. So you could find yourself opening up an abundance and opportunity window in a month after this kite for some money luck in your life, basically by taking an action in a gaming, playful way. And then Shiva the Destroyer, Pluto formed the crossbar of the kite in your first house of identity. Now, like, come on, Capricorns have been going through this for so long. You guys have been under renovation by Pluto, and that's like demolishing the old you and renovating to a complete rebuild. And that started way back in 2008 and it's coming to its finish in 2024. And so for you guys, this has been a long reinvention journey, and there's auspicious, like, nice quality to this. Yes, Shiva the Destroyer may destroy an old way of being, a way of understanding who you are, but it's pointing to a lot of success, especially with the Jupiter, Neptune, Sun in the third house. And at a very practical level, this also can look like, depending on where your IC-MC axis is, for some of you, if you have the root of your chart in your third house, whole sign houses system wise, you could be an auspicious move coming to a new neighborhood for some of you, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising. Always remember, if your Sun, Moon, or Rising Cap sign is between 15 to 27 degrees of Capricorn, this is going to be particularly, or 50 to 29 degrees of Capricorn, particularly powerful for you. And I'm going to draw a card and see what happens here. I also think with the handhold of the kite being in the ninth house of God, it's almost like you really need to lean into divine will. You need Capricorns to, like, let God steer your life. You know that Carrie Underwood song, Jesus, take the wheel? It's a little bit like surrender. You know what I mean here? In order for a lot of good things to unfold: luck, prosperity, money, luck, enjoyment and play and fun and pleasure, abundant opportunities for more joy, fun, play, and pleasure in your fifth house, that kind of thing. All right, let's grab a card for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising sign. The Winged Wise Ones, angelic help, miraculous aid. You can't make this poop up, guys. I just told you that you needed to surrender, let the divine forces take the wheel of your life, and you got this 34th card, the Winged Ones. DOG needs a WALK. Uh-oh. I got to finish you guys first. Okay, so this is the 34th card. Let me read it to you. All right. So I'll just give you the basic allies. This is always allies, never challengers. The Winged Wise Ones represent the aid of angels. Okay. When you enter into their realm, know that your sincere prayers will be answered according to the will of the divine. This represents divine intervention and the potential of miracles to heal and transform as if your life, as if by magic. Okay. Maybe you don't need to come to manifest your soul dream, but just put your hands up and say, oh, thy will is my will, or I surrender, or take the helm, divine angels of whatever. All right, almost done. You're my second video where I recorded today, and I think I'm going to try for a third, but I have to say, I'm not sure how YouTube content creators do this, because there's a lot of talking. There's a lot of using my voice. All right, Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. That's me, Aries with Saturn on the ascendant. What we got going is a story of the moon fully opening up. Uh-oh, I hope I didn't screw that up. No, I got that right. Yeah, really opening up a portal to eighth house energies. Well, eighth house is very subtle sometimes. It's an occult house. It's an aversion to the ascendant. It's magic. It's mystery. It's the paranormal and the metaphysical. So that's kind of cool. Well, and you might think, what was going on in September that I said to occult magic and mystery? Well, I'll tell you, I was taking a course in astrological magic. I was in the fall, September, October. So there's that. But the other thing is that it's also just a money house, right? That very practical, like spousal money, bank money, loan money, business partner money, spousal money. Did I say that? Bequeathment money, stuff like that. So there's a money story that's coming to fullness here. And it has an activation by a lunar energy. So it could honestly be a passing of a female figure in your life could bequeath you some money. Okay, end of story. But if it's not that, then this also could end up looking like you planted a seed in September that's going to fruit in this time frame of mid-March to mid-April, let's say, and it's going to fortify and strengthen a great deal of financial success for you, because it opens up a backbone of a kite to the second house of earnings and possessions and money and making money. And so you are going to find there's quite possibly a opening to prosperity, particularly for Aquarians, that is signified by this moon with abundance, abundantia and ops, the two asteroids on the north node in the house of real estate. Now, home, land, real estate, legacy wealth, the house of the mother, the way I use it. So possibly again, inheritance money. But if it's not that, then it's literally looking like, okay, something to do with abundance, an abundant opportunity to do with where you live. Back in September, I just moved to Vancouver in July, and I think I was sort of half-assed looking at places to live, to move to, because I'd sort of landed in my girlfriend's place, and it's a temporary rental, right? And I didn't really find anything. I thought maybe I'd jump really quickly into a new place. So maybe for some Aquariuses like me, there's a fullness now and a fruiting around the idea of a new home. But because it's abundance and opportunity energies, and it activates the eighth house, especially for buying a home, could be a great opportunity to get a really, really great mortgage, for example, or just a really amazing lease price, like, oh my God, or to partner with another in an investment in real estate, for example. And, Pluto and Shiva, the destroyer, are in your 12th house, Aquarius. So, destroying and slaying and ending things that undo you, like addictions to substances or wine, in my case, or things that are self-sabotaging strategies and patterns. It is important to realize that with this Shiva here energy and Pluto, you're completing a long journey since 2008 of getting rid of your baggage in the psychic and past life closet. You could also look at this as some kind of rebirth of your income from foreign lands and foreign shores. That's also a part of this prosperity, this burgeoning in your prosperous kite. Let's draw a card for you and see. Come to my Manifest Your Soul Dream. Let's get manifesting some more abundance for you by really channeling that open portal of the Neptune and Sun thing with Jupiter nearby on March 12th and 13th is when it happens in the sky. I've got a video about that. I'll put a link below here, but that video will come out before you see this one. All my videos go to my Patreon community first. If you want to join them, they get always up to 2 to 3 days ahead of time access to, if not more, this content you receive on YouTube for as little as $5 a month. Okay. All right. There are 2 cards that came out. So I don't like that because I'm just reshuffling. I was talking to you and neither of them were bad cards at all, but I'm just not sure that I got that right. Because when I get 2 cards at once, sometimes I just go, okay, I really wasn't, tuned in. Okay. Aquarius, let's really nail this one, right? What's your card? It's the same card. Okay. You cannot make this poop up. I promise you, this was the card I drew. There was another card next to it at the time. It was called it's called the Dragon's Head or something. So here's the same card. I shuffled, I fanned, and I drew it again. The Resting Tree. So for Aquarius, is the Resting Tree. Well, Pluto's in our 12th house. Yeah, the Resting Tree. Patience and stillness. And the card number is 22, by the way, one of the lucky numbers for me. And it has to do, my lot of fortunes at 22 Aquarius, but it has to do with, the holy fool or the archetype of trust, and the net will appear. Let me read a bit about the number 22 for us Aquariuses and how this resting tree ties into what looks like an incredibly prosperous kite and this idea of a new home or lucky breaks around where we live. The resting tree is a sign for you to stop focusing and planning and be at peace with the moment. This is representative of non-action and relaxation. Patience is key with this ally. The resting tree asks us to slow down, sit back, and watch the roses bloom. Oh, I just took a picture of the crocuses and daffodils the other day as they pop up in Vancouver, Canada, below the earth, and it smells so great here. That first breath of spring, you can smell the flowers are coming up and the soil is nice and warm and moist. This is not the time to forge ahead in any way. You may not be taking enough breaks, so you're invited to be still and to contemplate your good fortune, even if it means blessing the chaos in your life. Allow everything to fall away, accept the stillness of the moment. It's like living within the space between breaths. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I don't know about you Aquarians, but I've been busting my butt, working my ass off with clients, with my YouTube channel, and with my plans and my great plans to conquer the world. I'm even supposed to be launching a course in May that I'm really excited about, but I don't know if I have the mojo right now to build the launch ramp. So I might push it to June. So I'm loving this resting and stillness for us, because the prosperity is there in the sky with this kite, and our success is assured. Okay. What to do with land, home, real estate, money, prosperity, banks, mortgages, success, earnings, income. It's all there in our sky. But we need to also just take it easy. We are sometimes very Saturnian, right? We're driven by Saturn, like Capricorn people. We work so hard and we sometimes forget to rest. I almost feel sorry for us. Okay. Last but not least, and all of that is Pisces. Talk about the Pisces people. So this is you guys in a way, because, you know, the full moon in Virgo is across the way from your Pisces rising. So first of all, go back to September. What were you doing in relationship to other people, business partners, audience clients, or your love partner, your marriage partner? What things were happening in that arena of your life? Because now it's coming to a fullness and fruition. March 18th, about at a month. And there's some success energy that can happen in things you tried to get off the ground in September that now have a second lease on life. Secondly, you know, you're going to like love to receive abundance from your third house. This is your siblings. I mean, siblings can give you gifts or favors or money, or you may travel, trips and travel, and that is allowing some abundance, abundantia, and opportunity to expand your reality. Third house is your online media, your social media, your website. Expand, opportunity, abundance is there as well. Learning some kind of thing you want to learn, expand, abundance, expand. And this is also sort of helped by Shiva the Destroyer in your 11th house. Now, hey, it's been destroying and transforming since 2008, your dreams, hopes, and wishes for your life, and also your social networks and groups of friends. So this is coming to a close in 24. This last gasp is a part of a kite. What dreams are no longer true? What hopes and wishes for your life are you destroying in order for something new to grow? Just like a forest fire destroys the forest, but grows new growth, new fertility. Blueberries grow in forest fire aftermath. Don't we love blueberries? Yes, they're healthy for you. So there's an intensity with Pluto in the 11th house, because you may be putting a nail in the coffin of some dream or ambition you had, and it may be coming to a close for some of you Pisces. All right. Because you've got the sun right now in the house of you, this is a vitalizing energy, right? And, you know, sun in Pisces vitalizes and revitalizes you. And it's been there since like about the 18th or 19th or 20th or so, let's say the 20th to be safe, of February, and we'll be there till about, you know, the 20th of March. So this moon is happening just at the tail end of a sun trying to vitalize and revitalize your identity, your body, your sense of self. Sometimes the sun just shines a light there and what you need to see that may not be seen about your personality, your identity, and your body. And with Neptune and the Jupiter here, you know, Jupiter's trying to really give you a leg up on vitality, better health, feeling good, faith and hope and optimism. And he's going to be there until the middle of May. So you got a good run with him. So this kite looks like it's bringing you opportunities through travel and trips and siblings, maybe aunts, uncles, and cousins, or learning that brings abundance to you and brings opportunity to you. So let's draw a card for you Piscean folk and see what we get. And reminding, if your sun, moon, or Pisces rising a degree is 15 to 29, you really get a lot of juice from this kite in the sky and this full moon in the sign of Virgo. All right, so Pisces. This is what happens when you've been talking for too many hours. So Rainbow Prince. I have such a pretty card. Compensation, perseverance. It's a 26 card. Did I draw this for somebody else? The Rainbow Prince. I can't remember. Let me read it for you. I love that card. I just love the way it looks. I mean, am I the only one? It's so pretty. It's like so gorgeous. It's like an angel being swirling rainbow light. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let's take a peek for you guys. Come join my Manifest Your Soul Dream, because you're having this glorious thing in the house of you. Sun conjunct Neptune on the 12th and 13th of March. Come to my class with Jupiter there. Come to my class on March 12th at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 o'clock Eastern. You of all people should be there to manifest your soul dream. We're going to look at the sky together, a little bit more detail I didn't cover here. Then we're going to do a manifestation meditation guided by me. There's a replay available and a free gift of my Enter the Synchronicity Portal professionally produced meditation. Only 50 spots open unless I expand my Zoom. So if you can't make it, you'll get a replay. But if you don't sign up, you won't even get that. So please consider jumping in. So what number are we? 26. Okay, coming up. And it's free, but it's by donation. Like after, if you really like what I was up to, I'm going to give you my buy a coffee link, and you can buy me a cup of coffee, which is $5. Or you can buy me 2 cups, which is $10. All right. The Rainbow Prince. When the Rainbow Prince appears as your ally, he reminds you of the law of compensation and the law of receiving. After the rainstorm you've endured on your journey, Pisces, the Rainbow Prince brings you a pot of gold, which is the result of using all of the elements of your inner light and reaching into the sky until you touch the material realm from one end to the other. It's like Bifrost, the bridge of ancient Norse mythology. This isn't always an easy process, and hard work must be rewarded by compensation. When you align yourself with the energy of giving your highest value, compensation is inherent in the act itself. Keep your sights on the sky after the rainstorms that may have upset your life. Follow your bliss to the pot of gold awaiting you. Perseverance pays off, and your reward will be greater than you can imagine. Oh, I think you got the best card of everybody. Okay, thank you so much for listening, Pisces, and everyone who still made it to the end. Like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell for notifications, join my class, sign up for my newsletter. All right, you got the gist. Thanks, guys. Mwah. I'm going to take that dog for a walk. The dog is eager to get out of the house.